We're in a critical window now of time where they're going to set the stage for the next phase of this war.
As fighting intensifies in Ukraine, President Biden signs off on a massive military aid package totaling $800 million. The package includes heavy artillery weapons, ammunition, and other assistance. And the White House is following through on a promise to welcome up to 100,000 refugees to the states through a new streamlined process. Joining me this morning to talk about all this is Congresswoman Jan Schakowsky, a Democrat from Illinois' 9th District that covers the city's north side, North Shore, including Evanston, Wilmette, and parts of Morton Grove and Des Plaines. Congresswoman, good morning. Thanks for being with me.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So the president announcing this Uniting for Ukraine streamlined process to get Ukrainian citizens who are trying to escape here. I know you were very supportive when a similar kind of project went on with refugees from Afghanistan. What is your reaction here? Is it enough? And will we be seeing refugees in your area?
Well, you know, my area on the north side of Chicago, the northern suburbs, has really been a beacon of welcoming people from all over the world. I expect that we will see many Ukrainian refugees, as we have Afghan refugees as well. So we will welcome them. I know people in the community will do everything that we can to make their entry and recognize the trauma that so many of the people are facing and deal with that as well.
Looking at Ukraine in general, you know, there seems to have been a tone even in our country like, hey, Ukraine's going to pull this out. It's going to be the miracle, David beating Goliath. But, you know, the latest news and looking at what's going on in Mariupol and some places, it doesn't look good for Ukraine. So I'm sort of curious, and I'm being cynical here, but given the war crimes, the genocide that has gone on, if Russia ultimately succeeds in their effort, does the news cycle move on and this is the way it's been? And what happens here?
Well, you know, this is not going to go well, certainly for the Ukrainians, but it's not going well for Vladimir Putin either. There has been the revelation of how weak his military has been, his inability to actually get to the capital, to get to Kyiv, the sinking of the starship of their fleet, and so. But you're right in that Vladimir Putin doesn't seem to know when to stop, to go to diplomacy, to try and figure out an off-ramp, one that might give him, save face for him, but to negotiate. We have, the United States has already added another 600 people to the sanctions, people who have been guilty of committing these kinds of crimes against humanity, because we're seeing so much of that. We are sending $1 billion in aid for humanitarian assistance to Ukraine. And I know that the United States, as well as our allies, are trying to figure out how can we convince Vladimir Putin that it is better for him, as well as for the Ukrainians, to come to a negotiating table. You know, Ukraine has already agreed that they will not seek to be members of NATO. So, and I know the president has been willing, and Ukraine has been willing to sit down with Putin and try and find something other than the kind of slaughter and violence. And you know, Putin also has his hand on the nuclear button. Yeah. We're worried about him.
Yeah. Well, and we're going to see how that plays out. Obviously, it's not going to end quickly or calmly. Let's turn inward if we can and take a look at our own country, your area as well, the economy. Look, inflation. Everybody knows it's tough. The president, when he gets a chance, touts some good economic numbers and unemployment rates and all of that may be true. But then we know people are spending a lot more money when they go into the grocery store, and don't get anybody started about the gas prices, right? I know you have been very critical with saying a lot of fault when it comes to gas prices lies at the feet of the oil company execs. What's your latest take on that?
So we had a hearing with 6 of the top executives from the oil companies, and the name of the hearing was Gouging at the Gas Pump. Because these 6 leaders, these CEOs, together pocketed $72 billion in profits last year. We have seen that they have actually held back in the release of more gas. in order to raise the profits of the companies, in order to do buybacks, stock buybacks, which is enriching themselves, and to give more money to their shareholders. They were under pressure from their shareholders. Well, what about the American people? And I believe that this kind of gouging is also a very major reason why people are seeing more money, more cost at the pump.
It's a tough time. I want to talk about some other things that you particularly have been involved in with a focus for a moment on Big Pharma. I know you don't trust the intentions of Big Pharma. You recently introduced a package of legislation targeting business practices by pharmaceutical companies. Talk about that fix in those efforts.
Well, first of all, in terms of the gouging, let me say that over 500 drug prices were raised for individual drugs during just this year, 2022 alone. So taking advantage of that, but also, the drug companies say, oh, we need the money because we do all this research and development. We come up with these magical drugs that save people's lives. Show us the data, because we don't see that. We believe that the money that they spend on buybacks, on CEO salaries, et cetera, once again, is more money than they are actually spending on research and development on the drugs. And we spend, as Americans, 2 to 3 times more than people in any other country for the same drugs. We're treated like a bunch of chumps by the pharmaceutical industry, Big Pharma.
Very quickly on the infrastructure bill, you're using some of the money that comes from that federal money for clean energy jobs in the electric grid in your area. Quickly, tell me about that.
Well, actually, I wanted to tell you that for the first time in over a decade, members of Congress are able to identify community projects for funding. And I am just so thrilled that we've been able to bring right to my district and others to their districts $3.4 million. Things that will help the Rohingya Center in my district. These are people who are victims of genocide in Myanmar. Who is helping a homeless shelter, people who have been subjected to and experienced homelessness, to do a total renovation, to have housing with dignity, and an infrastructure project that we have done in some communities to be able to stop flooding, for example. So we've been able to, for the first time in many years, actually deliver some real benefits to our communities. New projects.
I do know we're out of time, but I'll send people to your website because I also know you got some money for the Syrian Community Network Refugee Youth Education Program. You were going to mention that, but I mentioned it for you. So have people check that out. Congresswoman Jan Schakowsky of the 9th District, thank you so much for your time and enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Thank you.
Pleasure. Thank you so much.
All right. We're going to take a quick break. Coming up next, some good news from the State House, the latest on Illinois' financial future. That's coming up.